They just took our biggest city, and I'm so sick of hearing of this, some of these Republicans say, yes, now we're going to run on it. Every campaign we're in, we're going to run on Mondami. Lawrenceville, Kansas, or Peoria, Illinois, we've got this one. They're organizing at the local level like we've never seen before. They've got more billions flooding in like we've never seen before. They're already twisting the minds of our youth in our colleges and universities. And I have to hear these fools on TV and radio and elsewhere go on about, this is exactly where we want them. What, are you out of your mind? Yes, they're out of your mind. Get out of the way and let the serious people deal with this. That's what I say. So what happened was in New Jersey, a hard Democrat state, where we were hoping for an upset, the Democrats won. Then we have a state called Virginia that used to be a red southern state. So what changed? What changed was the locusts. Locusts? Oh yeah, the government bureaucrats who lived in D.C. and Maryland got tired of the taxes they voted for, regulations they voted for, and the cops they voted against, so they moved to a conservative state, very conservative red state called Virginia across the Potomac River, where they've screwed up everything. And so now the state of Virginia, the Commonwealth, has the largest number of federal bureaucrats of any state in the country, even more than Maryland. Wow, go figure. Plus, on top of that, we've had years and years of illegal immigration and legal immigration without assimilation, particularly under the Democrats, but it's not something you can fix like that. It's like anything else. It's easier to destroy things than to build things, right? It's easier to destroy a building than to build a building. Well, the same is true with a culture, a society, or a period of time, politics. So what you basically have is Northern Virginia and other little parts of Virginia like Norfolk and Richmond, but basically the state is red, filled with patriots, people working in the private sector, except the biggest populated counties now across the Potomac River from Washington, D.C. Heavy Democrat, I mean heavy. And Fairfax, Virginia is by far the largest, most populated county in the state. And when those numbers come in, man, they're tough. So the fact that Youngkin won 4 years ago was pretty damn impressive. But it's gotten much worse over the last 4 years. Plus, Republicans are depopulating the state. They're leaving. Just like they're leaving New Jersey and New York and these other blue states saying, to hell with it. I'm going to free places. I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Tennessee. I'm going to Nevada. I'm just getting the hell out of here because I can't put up with it anymore. And so that's happening too. And so when you look at a national map and national elections, you see these red states picking up congressional districts. You see these red states getting redder by the day, and you see the opposite in the blue states. So to some extent, that's what's going on. But it can also be some unhappiness with some of the things that are taking place, given the propaganda, the media, and so forth and so on. The point is, I never read too much into this stuff. The why goes on and on. The analysts, they go on and on. They'll tell you what they think, like I care. The fact of the matter is this: you got to fight every election like a battle. Fight to win. Fight as if you're behind. Fight as if the trajectory is against you. You know the media are going to be against you. You've got to fight like you're behind, like you're in a military operation. You don't look at polls for military. Are we going to win or are the Germans going to win? What's the last poll say? You understand? Now, campaigns may look at that stuff, but we the people, we got to fight like hell every single time in every election at every level of government. That's the bottom line. Here's MSLSD, the morning schmo, and Mrs. Schmo last night. They were very orgasmic. I don't like that word when it comes to the two of them. Actually, they were excited. Or whatever, they were. Let's check it out. Go.
And just a few minutes ago, I said to our daughters, your mom's going to be the governor of Virginia.
I said that to my children. Oh, Lord, I said, this woman has pretended to be a pragmatic moderate. She's a fraud and a phony. Tell me, is a pragmatic and moderate to promote and support boys and girls bathrooms and locker rooms? You know, I think 10 years ago that was called perversion and you get arrested for it. Now it's Democrat governmental policy. It's sick. or men in women's sports and girls having to deal with boys in their sports. Is that progress? Where's that progress? In Democrat states. And she's going to make Virginia a sanctuary state. It's not even a sanctuary state yet. And so Virginians voted for this, and this is what they're going to get. Now, keep something in mind. Over 1 million Virginians didn't vote for this, but they're going to get it. And so, I mean, I even have called from friends who've lived in Virginia for half a century. They say, I'm getting the hell out of here. It's not the Virginia I knew. It's not the quaint town Virginia that I grew up in. It's not death penalty, Second Amendment, faith, all that stuff. It's just water under the bridge. So basically, given what's happened mostly in Northern Virginia, well, the other thing is this I should have mentioned about Virginia. It's very high tech, particularly out Loudoun County. There's roads you go down in Loudoun County, you see these massive buildings where they operate these massively big, fast data computers, the cloud. 80% of the so-called cloud in this country is in Loudoun County, Virginia. These buildings that are bigger than football fields, one after another, won't be hard for the communist Chinese. They don't know exactly what to hit. This thing in the West Coast, this thing in Virginia, we're set. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Now, 20 years ago, they weren't. Then they had the wisdom of building the subway system out to Loudoun County, Virginia. What does that mean? More people from the cities who vote Democrat come out to a more rural county. And then, of course, what I said before, the influx of bureaucrats, the influx of migrants. And migrants are voting 60, 70% Democrat. So the Democrats know what they're doing in order to get voters in here. And then they hand it all over to the democratic socialists, the Marxist Islamists, because they've allowed them to devour their party. But in any event, this woman is a radical, but there's even a bigger story. The lieutenant governor candidate won. I believe her name is Hamzi. Sarsour, who's the radical Islamist Marxist who's sort of organizing this movement. CARE, with their political action committee, is the massive funding behind this with George Soros funds and Hamas funds and God knows who other funds. They said she's a priority too, just like Mamdani. Why? She just won the lieutenant governorship of Virginia. The governor is term limited to 1 term. Since the beginning of Virginia, you get 1 term. That means the odds-on favorite to be governor of Virginia in 4 years, you believe this, guys? Is a Mamdani in a dress. To be the first governor of the United States who's a Marxist Islamist under the cover of the Democrat Party. A lot of these Democrats are, Democrat, where's the bad Democrat. Yeah, but she's really my, Democrat. And that's what a lot of these people are doing. Remember, Trump didn't win Virginia. He didn't win New Jersey. He certainly didn't win New York City. So these were tough nuts to crack to begin with. But the way it is set up in Virginia here, this is very problematic. It's very problematic. Of course, the Attorney General is a complete psycho, that guy. The retiring Speaker of the House Republican. That guy should take 2 bullets to the back of his head. Should we save the bullets for Mao or Stalin? Or him? Him! Oh, by the way, his children should die in his wife's arms. Apparently, that wasn't enough to stop people from voting for him. Go ahead.
And I can guarantee those words have never been spoken in Virginia ever before.
I've spoken with thousands of you over this last
Ooh,
year.
Here's New Jersey. Now, she's a real, she's great. She's terrific. She and her husband made $7 million. She doesn't know how she made it. In other words, they're covering it up because something's not right. She couldn't even go through the graduation at the Naval Academy, I think it was. And they covered that up. Nobody knows why. And she's flailing around left and right. Perfect Democrat, actually. And she won. And so the people in New Jersey, everywhere I go in New Jersey, and I'm there often, complain about property taxes and electricity bills. The legislature's been Democrat-controlled for over 2 decades. You've had a Democrat in there for 2 terms or longer. And they're the ones that raise the property taxes. They're the ones who have the policies in place to destroy your cheap and available energy that most of the rest of the country gets. And you vote them in, overwhelmingly. So there you go. The property taxes are going to go higher, and the electricity bills are going to go higher. I'm not talking about the Republicans voting her in. I'm talking about the Democrats voting her in. Don't hardworking, blue-collar, middle-class Democrats pay taxes? Of course. Pay electricity bills? Of course. Well, you got it. You wanted it. Now you're going to have it. Go ahead.
I know your struggles. I know your hopes. I know your dreams.
How does she know our dreams? I'm so sick of these politicians. I know your struggles, I know your hopes, and I know your dreams. Do you know my name? No. But I know your struggles, hopes, and dreams. But you don't know anything about me. I'm just sick of the BS. Go ahead.
So serving you is worth any tough fight I have to take on, and I am incredibly honored to be
here. To take on a fight. Massive majorities of Democrats in the legislature, and she's a Democrat. I'm going to take them on. Unbelievable. I'm going to take over the Democrat unions, the Democrat legislature. I'm going to take them on. You don't have to take on anybody. You're a placeholder. In fact, you don't even need a pen. You don't even need an auto pen. Just a rubber stamp will do it. Yes, 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 yes. That's what she is. I'm going to take them on. What else? Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Tonight,
Oy.
against all odds,
Oy.
we have grasped it. The future is in our hands.
The future's in our hands. That's right. Marxism and radical Islamism, that's in your hands. Jew hatred, Christian hatred, American hatred. They just took our biggest city. And I'm so sick of hearing of some of these Republicans say, yes, now we're going to run on it. Every campaign we're in, we're going to run on Mondami. Whether it's Lawrenceville, Kansas, or Peoria, Illinois, we've got this one. They're organizing at the local level like we've never seen before. They've got more billions flooding in like we've never seen before. They're already twisting the minds of our youth in our colleges and universities. And I have to hear these fools on TV and radio and elsewhere go on about, this is exactly where we want them. What, are you out of your mind? Yes, they're out of your mind. Get out of the way and let the serious people deal with this. That's what I say.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.